showtime. Woo, woo. Woo, 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 woo. Silent and profiling. Woo, woo, it's live and in color. Woo! Woo!
Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am your host, Tommy. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that thumbs up. Woo! Von motherfucking Miller is now a Buffalo Bill. Man, I ain't gonna lie, guys. I was stressing a little bit yesterday, earlier in the day. I really thought the Buffalo Bills were going to sign Chandler Jones. I had this feeling that it was going to happen. Everything they were doing throughout the day pointed in that direction. They worked out some contracts with, I believe, Micah Hyde. I believe Jordan Poyer was another. So Brandon Beane was doing his work to get money available to sign a big-time free agent. And it's funny that Brandon Beane in his presser after the season ended said, don't expect any splash moves in free agency. And I kind of held that. I kind of thought, that was going to be the case. I really did, because looking at the cap, there was a lot of work to do to even sign a few free agents, right? And then we had our own guys that we had to bring back. So I thought for sure there was going to be some good additions, some quality guys, maybe some rotational pieces, and maybe a trade. I was really thinking about a trade. And by the way, I still think a trade is possible. Will it be a huge splash trade? Probably not, because that means that player would come with a hefty contract. But I expect a trade. But back to the man, Von Miller, the future Hall of Famer, Von Miller. The deal is 6 years, $150 million. Now, at first, of course, everybody is going, what? I'm sorry, 6 years, 120. I apologize. Take that back. Everybody was saying, oh my God, 6 years, $120 million. But you got to look at the contract details, the details of the contract. The Buffalo Bills can get out after 3 seasons, and it really works out to be about 17.5 a season. The same that Chandler Jones got with the Raiders. So let me get back to my story yesterday. As I'm watching NFL Network all day and I'm on Twitter all day thinking there is going to be a big move for the Buffalo Bills, Brandon Beane is cooking up something. I saw Chandler Jones signs with the Raiders. I was honestly surprised. The Raiders, I mean, I don't understand, but it is what it is. It's a lot of money, and I'll be real with you. I thought Brandon Beane more than likely put an offer in, and from everything that I read or saw, whatever, the Buffalo Bills were trying to get Chandler Jones. So was the deal too rich? Clearly not, because they spent the exact same money on Von Miller. But maybe they just felt like Von Miller was a little bit better overall in a lot of these areas, which I'm going to get to, and the reason why I like the Von Miller signing more than because he's just a absolute freak of a player. So here's a few things. Here's a few reasons why I like the signing. And I had a lot of people come to me and say, Tommy, I don't understand it. He's older. He's in his 30s. 120 is a lot of money. But then, like I said, when you backtrack, when you look at the contract, it's really not that bad. That's one. Two, the AFC is loading up. The AFC is loading up. This is no longer a Chiefs issue anymore, right? This is no longer a Chiefs problem. So you guys get that through your heads, Bills Mafia. The AFC is loading up. Denver is loading up. The Raiders, they're loading up. The Chargers are loading up. The Dolphins are loading up. Patriots, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I'll be honest. They haven't done a damn thing. Cincinnati still has a very good team, though. Even they haven't really made any moves either, but they're still they're a Super Bowl. They went to the Super Bowl. They have a very good quarterback. So this is no longer a Chiefs thing, and not to mention the Titans, by the way. So listen, when we didn't make that move for Chandler Jones, we tried to make the move, and Chandler Jones decided to go to the Raiders. I'll admit, guys, I was worrying, and I was on Twitter saying, listen, here's the problem. The AFC's loading up, and we have a defense that has a bunch of young players, especially on the edge. Gregory Rousseau. I absolutely love Gregory Rousseau. And I think Rousseau has a very high ceiling. But you guys, you have to take this. You have to understand this. Gregory Rousseau played one season in college. One. He missed his final season because he opted out due to the COVID, right? We drafted Gregory Rousseau missing a season already of college, right? So he was as raw as you could be. Matter of fact, he was converted into an edge. He wasn't even an edge going into college. So talk about a guy who is very new to the position, but has a lot of freakish talent, right? You could see it. It's just not there yet. Then you got Boogie Basham. Sure, he played, I think, 3 seasons in college, but I think Boogie, he can get better, but he doesn't have that ceiling like a Gregory Rousseau. But he's going to be a solid player in this league. I believe that. Maybe more of a rotational player, but he'll be a solid player. He'll be around in this league. Then you got AJ Epinessa, who, by all reports, last season was looking phenomenal in training camp. But when it came down and the season started, he had maybe a few games that he flashed where you're like, okay, all right, here we go. And then he just disappeared. I didn't see or hear his name. So, listen, AJ is going into his 3rd season now. This is usually where players excel. If they don't by the 3rd season, you kind of know what you got. So we'll see. The verdict's still out on AJ Epinessa. So my point is, Von Miller coming to a young defensive edge room is huge. He's going to mentor these guys, show these guys things they probably haven't seen, right? They're going to pick his brain. I guarantee you. They're going to pick his brain. They're going to, ask a ton of questions. They're going to watch this guy. They're going to watch the work ethic he does during camp. And especially for a guy like Gregory Rousseau, this is huge. This is huge. Listen, I understand we have a defensive coach. I understand that he's learning from them. But there's nothing like having a guy in the locker room that's a future Hall of Famer that's still playing at a high level, that you can pick his brain, that you can actually be on the field with. There's nothing like it. I'm sorry. So that's huge for the Buffalo Bills. And I just think Von Miller is going to bring an instant impact to this team. Like I said, if we did not add a vet edge rusher who can actually have some impact, we were going to be in a little trouble, guys. Because I got to tell you, if you do not get to the quarterback, that equals disaster. And you guys know how that looks, right? Can't get to Mahomes, he's going to pick you apart. Even a quarterback that's average, if he has time to sit back in the pocket, he's going to pick you apart. Also, I want you guys to take this in consideration. Tre'Davious White probably won't be back in time for the season opener. And who knows how many games he will really miss. I have no idea. Every player is different on how they heal, right? On their rehab. Some players come back faster than others. Some players, it takes them a long time. I have no idea. None of us do. We can all sit here and guess. Oh, he'll be back by training camp. Oh, he'll be back by preseason, or he'll be back by the second week. We don't know. I have no idea. But normally an injury like that, an ACL, they say it takes 9 to 12 months. Guys, he had surgery in December. So my point is, we have a very young cornerback room as well. You got Dane Jackson back there, right? Levi left, by the way. Levi signed with the Steelers. So you got Dane, and I think you got Cam. So I got to look at the rest of the depth chart. But my point is, the Buffalo Bills need to have pressure on the quarterbacks, because these young cornerbacks, if they're guarding the receiver too long, they're going to get picked apart. When you get pressure on a quarterback, the quarterbacks are going to have to get rid of the ball a little quicker. It's going to give those corners a little better of an opportunity to make a play, right? This is not Trey White out there who could stick with a wide receiver for a little bit longer than usual. Even a Levi Wallace, who I understand you guys, a lot of Bills Mafia were, mixed on Levi Wallace, right? Some of you guys loved him. Some of you hated him. To be honest with you, I thought he was a pretty good player. I did. I never had a problem with Levi Wallace. But it was his time, and I understand why Buffalo didn't, why they moved on, why they didn't match the contract, because they probably could have, because it wasn't a big contract, guys. I think it was $4 million a year that he got, something like that. I have to go back and look. But back to Von Miller. I believe he's 32 years old. And I got to tell you, yeah, his productivity has slowed down a little, but not by much, guys. Not by much. He is a problem for offensive linemen. And listen, he's going to play left edge. Rousseau's going to play right. And they probably, knowing Sean McDermott and Leslie Frazier, will do a lot of rotations. More than likely, Von Miller will not be on a lot of heavy snap counts. He will start, obviously, but I truly believe that he will have a little bit less usage into the season, which is the right thing to do. I'll be honest with you guys. You want Von Miller staying healthy, especially when we get into the playoffs. Then obviously you'll see his snap count get at a higher percentage. But let me go through some of these sack totals. So obviously rookie year, 11.5. Then he had 13.5. Then he had 5. I believe he was hurt that year. 14, 11, 13.5, 10, 14.5, 8. And then he had 9.5 last season. And that's combined when he was with Denver and to the Rams. I got to be honest, last year when Von Miller was being floated around as a possible trade candidate, I was all for it. I thought Brandon Beane should have pulled the trigger then. I thought we needed help desperately in the getting to the quarterback. That's one thing Buffalo has struggled with. They bring pressure. We always are up on PFF's list as one of the top pressure, quarterback pressure teams, but we never get home. Never. Von Miller gets home. Von Miller gets home, guys. And I love Jerry Hughes. I absolutely love that he, what he did for Buffalo. He was, I believe, our longest tenured Buffalo Bill player. He was with multiple head coaches, guys, okay? Multiple coordinators. So I got to give the guy a lot of credit for sticking with this team when he probably didn't need to. Could have left somewhere else when he was still in his prime. And he was just a stand-up guy. He's another player I know Bills Mafia is like, they got their feelings about Jerry Hughes, which they shouldn't. I'm going to be real with you guys. They shouldn't. Jerry Hughes always gave 100% out there. But Jerry Hughes' time, unfortunately, is probably done in Buffalo. Now that we got Von Miller, we got a very young defensive edge room. We probably just don't have enough space for another veteran player like Jerry Hughes. So that being said, listen, guys, Von Miller, future Hall of Famer. I could see him here easily for 3 seasons, possibly 4. And he's going to make an instant impact. Instantly. You saw what he did with the Rams last season. And I was not screaming, but I was saying the Bills should have tried to get him last season through a trade. It didn't happen. I know Brandon Beane was trying to do that deal. But who knows what Denver wanted. And Brandon Beane loves his draft picks. And just like Brandon Beane kind of thing to do, he signed them in the offseason. Stephon Diggs, same thing. Try to trade for Stephon Diggs during the season. They winded up signing him. They winded up trading for him in the offseason. So they tried during the season, didn't work out. The offseason came, Brandon Beane still got his man, right? Just didn't happen during the season. Emmanuel Sanders was another guy. I believe they tried to trade for him, didn't happen. And Brandon Beane winded up getting him in the offseason. So it's kind of funny how that works out. So, guys, I love the signing. I'm glad you guys are super hyped. This takes me back to when we signed Mario Williams, which, by the way, was a 6-year, $100 million deal. Very similar. And Mario Williams, listen, guys, it wasn't like Mario Williams was a bust. Mario Williams has some very good years here in Buffalo. And I think Von Miller is going to have some very good years in Buffalo. And what is the ultimate goal for the Buffalo Bills? What's the ultimate goal? It is to bring home the Vince Lombardi trophy to Buffalo. That is the ultimate goal. Because I've been a fan since 1989. I've gone through this roller coaster of a ride. I'm 43 years old. I will be 44 this year. It is time for this team to give me a Super Bowl before I die, right? Like, I feel bad for the older Buffalo Bills fans. I'm talking old, right? Like 80, 90. There's not much time, right? And all they want is a Buffalo Bills Super Bowl trophy. That's all they want. And yes, Brandon Beane needed to go all in. I know that we actually talked about that on, I think, last Friday. I was on, we did a show on hashtag. It was our debut Friday Night Lights with me and Joe and Mikey. And we talked about this. Does Brandon Beane and the Buffalo Bills go all in? Is it time to go all in? And me and Joe agreed that it was time to go all in. It's time. Mikey was on the fence about it. And I understand that because, sometimes when you go all in and it doesn't work out, that could set your team back many, many years. And the Buffalo Bills have tried this in the past, and it has failed. But, and there's a big but. We didn't have Brandon Beane as the GM, and he didn't have a good coach in Sean McDermott. And he didn't have a good coaching staff along with it. That is the big but. Also, you didn't have a franchise quarterback in Josh Allen, who we all can now say, and all the haters can now say, he is a top 5 quarterback. He is an elite quarterback. And he is possibly going to bring a Super Bowl home to Buffalo. And Von Miller will help that. And this defense is now getting their act together, by the way. Guys, I will be going on Friday live at 8 o'clock. I'm going to have Mikey on as a guest. I'm going to have Nasty Nate on as well. And we're going to talk about the free agents that we brung in already. We're going to talk about the people we lost. And by the way, today, Cole Beasley was cut. That's unfortunate, but it had to happen, because of the cap. And we're going to talk about other stuff as well. So, guys, I am super excited. This is a Super Bowl team, no doubt about it. And we are all in to go get that trophy now. Guys, Von fucking Miller is here. And the Buffalo Bills are going to the Super Bowl. We're going to win it. There is no more wide fucking right. This is time. The time is now. And I truly believe this team can be a team that can go to the Super Bowl multiple times. I truly believe that. We have a young core of defense. We have young core on offense. We have guys that are locked in and they know what they want. Josh Allen knows what he wants. Stephon Diggs knows what he wants. Isaiah McKenzie, Gabe Davis, Von Miller, Gregory Rousseau, Ed Oliver, Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde. Should I keep going on? This team is ready, and we're stacked. And by the way, Brandon Beane is not done wheeling and dealing. I expect more free agents to come. And by the way, I have no idea how he's doing it. But keep on bringing them. And I will talk to you on Friday, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Please be here. And Bills Mafia, you are the best. Bills Mafia #1. I am out of here. Peace out.
God bless America and God bless Ric Flair. Go for it. Woo! Styling and profiling. Woo! 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 I've lost it. I've lost reality. And when I lose reality, somebody else pays the price of a lifetime. Woo! Woo! Woo!